food in the back, so just bear with me for the next 45 minutes or so. I'll make sure that you get back there real soon. It's only going to take half hour, actually. So let me first and foremost congratulate each and every single one of you on being a part of a distinguished class of students and scholars here at the university. The mere fact that you're sitting here today demonstrates not only your dedication to academic success, but also your commitment to making a difference within your own life. Congratulations are also in order to your families, some of which seem to be here, friends and teachers that have helped you along your way. Whether it took a bit of encouragement or an old-fashioned browbeating, the results are the same. You've been on campus only a short while and already you represent the best that this university has to offer. So before I go any further, I need to respect the fact that none of you probably know exactly who I am or why I'm standing in front of you speaking today. And in full disclosure, there were periods of time where I wrote this speech and I was asking myself the very same question. You see, I'm not a distinguished and tenured UW professor. I'm not a vice president or a director of one of UW's offices or departments. What I am, as Rob mentioned, is a former master's student and a graduate of UWF. And that makes me a reflection of you in the near future as potential graduates of the university. So while I could probably ramble on about the successes of your past or heap praise for a job well done these past few semesters, I really don't believe that that's actually going to help any of you all with the next few minutes that I can speak to you. So instead, what I want to do is offer you a glimpse into your future, probably while offering a little bit of advice and some suggestions along the way while you try and navigate college and possibly enter the job market in the next few years. So let me start with my first note of advice, and that's don't let anybody discourage you. I'll tell you that my very first exam as a student at the University of Florida was in a class called International Politics. Now, I went to class just like every other student does. I took good notes, I studied. I did everything that I thought I was supposed to do, and I was really pretty confident. So I went into that first exam. I took that exam, I got a D. I didn't even understand how it was possible for me to get a D. I never got a D in my life. I never studied in high school. I got A's in high school. It didn't seem right. I mean, this teacher should have known that I was genetically predisposed to academic success. It was given to me. It was gifted to me. And clearly the problem was this teacher's inability to relate the material to me. So this is clearly not my fault. But regardless of the number of four-letter words that I stated that week, it didn't change the fact that I still got a D in college. And I was terrified. This is the very first grade, and I was sure that I was going to fail. So like any good student, I made an appointment with this professor. And I went and met with her to try and ask her, what is it I can do to try and do better on the next exam? What do I need to focus on? And I remember exactly what she said to me, clear as day. She looked at me and she said, well, some students just aren't meant for college. And I looked at her, I couldn't believe what she said. It was unbelievable. I was, again, even more terrified than I had started with. And I thought for sure that my mom was going to find out somehow that she was going to move down to college with me and make sure that I studied for the rest of my life. And these were terrifying thoughts. But of course, none of this actually came to pass. In fact, I ended up getting a B in that course. I went on to finish college, albeit not as a political science major. But if I had listened to that wonderful professor's super encouraging and helpful advice, I would be nowhere today. So, despite all of your natural brilliance and palpable charm, be wary of those that would like to try and trample on your dreams and your goals, because your actions will always be greater than anybody else's opinions at this university and beyond. So this leads me nicely into my second suggestion for getting through college. That's to open your mind to a variety of majors and career options that are available to you. So when I got to college, I wanted to be a lawyer, and in retrospect, it wasn't me that wanted to be a lawyer, it was my family that wanted me to be a lawyer, and that was how I ended up with a B in a political science class that I probably didn't want to take in the first place. So this happens, it's okay. And this clearly was not my path. Obviously, political science was not meant for me, and I understood that at the beginning. And so before I left college, I had plans to be a lawyer, a lobbyist, an economist, a marine biologist, and an environmental scientist. So I covered the gamut. I was all over the board. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that even up until I graduated, I even changed my bachelor's from an art to a science degree one semester before I graduated. So I'm absolutely all over the place. But what you need to understand is that adjusting your course as you try and navigate the long-term future and planning your career is extremely important. Everybody is going to do it. So you may be hard-pressed to go and find colleagues that are going to brag about the number of majors that they've chosen or how long it is they've taken in college, but I can guarantee you that those people that have changed their majors still turn out okay. You are definitely not alone if you are undecided and not sure what to do. This is not to say that you can just bounce from subject to subject and plan to graduate on time. Obviously, planning is important. But if you leave yourself open to everything that this university has to offer, I promise that you will discover your passion. And let me assure you that discovering your passion in your career is critical to lifelong happiness. Just wait until you leave and you have 9-hour work days, 5 days a week with absolutely no spring or summer break. It's completely and totally unfair, and you'll hate it. But it's what you gotta do when you enter the workforce. So trust me when I say that choosing your career and loving what you do is critical to your happiness. So let me also be honest about something else that few are going to talk about directly to you. And it's how hard is it to try and chart your entire career, the entire path for the rest of your life, based on an abnormal psychology, a macroeconomics, or a calculus class? Are all of you undecideds out there supposedly just supposed to have some sort of epiphany during that chemistry lecture on covalent bonds and try and realize all of a sudden I want to be a chemist? That just doesn't happen. So what do you do when that aha ray of sunshine, birds chirping in the sky moment just doesn't come to you? And while it didn't come to me for quite some time, the answer for me was to get involved. Go out and volunteer to assist a professor with a research project that you might find interesting. Find a part-time job on campus in the career path that you're interested in. Don't just go get a job at Buffalo Wild Wings at night just so you can make a little bit of extra money. Take that time that you put in and go and try and find something that you're actually interested in. Find something in that career path that you want to do. Do something that makes a difference, not just for you, but for your long-term future. I promise that these experiences, when you invest the time and the effort to volunteer your time and focus your career path, that these will benefit you when you apply for a job, and they'll teach you exactly what you want to do before you end up in a long-term career. And more importantly, usually more often, they'll teach you what you do not want to do for the rest of your life, which is something that you'll definitely want to avoid. Now, this may not apply to everyone in the room. Some of you know exactly what major you want and what type of degree, what type of job you want to graduate, or where you want to go to graduate school. And to you, I say congratulations. It's quite a feat, actually, but I still hope that you'll keep your mind open, because the choices abound both before and after graduation if you're still freshmen. So take engineering, for example. What type of 23 different engineering classes do you want to focus on? Do you want to sit in front of a computer all day drawing CAD, or do you want to end up out in the field? Do you want to work for NASA in space, or do you want to work for Exxon on an oil rig in the Gulf? There are 1,000 different forks in the road, and every single one of them are laid out before you today. So this leads me to my final nugget of advice, and that's to always put your best foot forward in every single thing that you do, even if it makes you completely and totally miserable. So this is obviously easier said than done, but you'll be amazed at how this can benefit you. So I'll give you an example from my own personal experience. I stand before you today as a research ecologist for the United States Environmental Protection Agency. And for most of you, this is probably not your dream job, but I can assure you that since graduate school, this is most definitely my dream job. Now, I spent a summer working for this same very office that I work for now as a graduate student. And unfortunately, when I worked there, I spent the summer cleaning aquariums and managing data. It was not what I expected, and I certainly wasn't particularly happy about it, but I did the best that I could, and I remained as professional as possible through the entire time. So what I can tell you with near certainty is that 7 years later, they hired me because I did a good job and didn't complain. I can tell you with absolute certainty that if I had complained and voiced that I did not like the task that I was assigned, they would never have hired me. So it's funny how things come around. The people that you work with today may be people that you work for or with in 7 or 10 years. So just remember that when you climb that corporate ladder, sometimes it means having to cope with the dirt of those people that are climbing above you. Take it all in stride, because it's all a part of gaining those valuable life experiences and that character that your parents continually tell you is so important. Now, you may also find that your dream job does not necessarily fall into your lap the day after graduation. I ended up working 3 different jobs in 2 states over a period of 4 years, some of which were great jobs, others of which were absolutely miserable, and I didn't enjoy them at all. But every single one of those provided me the experience that I needed to succeed and to get where I am today. So don't be afraid to try different jobs and employers when you leave, or even while you're here in school. Don't be disappointed if that first job out of college isn't that rock star career that you always planned. Because if you just keep enjoying the scenery on that winding career path that some of you are likely to find, you'll get to where you need to go eventually. So, while my hope for all of you is that you'll have a 4.0 GPA, that you'll have that high-paid internship, and that you get that dream job right after college, I understand that, after all, while you're here, that you continue to try and strive and continue to try and strive for that kind of perfection. But I also hope that when life seems to get in the way, when things don't go the way that you planned, and that you remember my advice today. I congratulate each of you on your academic academic success and excellence thus far, and we wish you the best of luck in your achievements in the online classroom. Thank you.